Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Mavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. We are seeing Bhagavad Gita and we have seen 20th verse. Now, what a wonderful verse it is. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. The truth is neither born, it always is. Once we say it always is, it means timeless. It is free from time. It is free from the physical things. It is free from the thought. It is a presence free from thought. Thought-free presence is the truth. Physicality-free, objectifiability-free presence of your being. Physicality-free being. The thought-free being, presence. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavitava na bhuya. It's not a non-eternal. It's not that it having been, it ceases to be. Nayam bhutva abhavitava na bhuya. It's not something that having been there and it ceases to be. Ajaha, it is free from causation. That is maybe I did not emphasize that word. It is free from causation. Between the truth and the universe, there is no causation. It's not that the truth undergoes change and becomes the universe. It is a perception in it. It's not an effect of the truth. It is an error about the truth, erroneous perception about the truth. This is a very important point. The universe is not an effect of the truth. It is an erroneous perception about the truth. Like the snake is not an effect of the rope. Snake is an erroneous perception about the rope. Mirage is not an effect of the sand. It is an erroneous perception about the sand. Similarly, your embodiment is not an effect of the truth, please. Yes, effect means, it can again become effect. Why not? That problem. But it can be corrected for good because it is not an effect of the truth. It is an erroneous perception about the truth. It is adhyasa about the truth. Therefore, ajaha means there is no causation. Swamiji, in causation, there has to be a change. Yes, time is a very important ingredient of causation. Change is an important ingredient. If I clap, it creates a sound that is called causation. It causes the sound that is called causation. And definitely there is some kind of friction between hand and hand, and then it happens. And when you put milk for the curds, that is the classical example that we always give for causation. You put milk for yogurt, and it goes through change, modification, and it becomes the yogurt, curd. That is called causation. The cause has to undergo change to become the effect. If the cause does, and there is no such a cause which doesn't undergo any change. And therefore, between the elements and this body, there is causation. The elements, the food undergoes change and becomes a part of the body. This is all really, the water goes into the body. It is between water and the body, there is causation. Between the air and the body, there is causation. In this manner, causation is there between the elements and the elemental. Between the elements and the elemental, there is causation. But here, between the truth and the universe, there is no causation. Amazingly. We say all the time the truth is the source. Parameshwara is the source of the universe. But there is no causation. It is ajaha. It is the source, but there is no causation. It is the source means for things to perceive it is there. I perceive the water as a wave. I perceive the rope as snake. I only perceive. It's only pratyaya. And therefore ajaha means free from causation. Nityaha, it's ever present. Shashvataha, it is tomorrow also, ji. That is why when man dies, Shashvat Bhavaha means always present. It is not in time, timeless. It is not always present in time, but it is free from time. Like like in deep sleep state, you have a presence, but the presence is free from time. It's a timeless presence of yourself, please. The deep sleep state is a timeless presence, yes. But timeless presence, Swamiji, only for a short time. That is because the manifestation of the error is there again, embodiment is felt again, and therefore within that timeless, the time bound is felt, please. The time bound doesn't replace the timeless, just as the sound doesn't replace the silence. The sound doesn't replace the silence. The sound takes place in the silence. The wave doesn't replace water, it takes place in water. In the same manner, the timeless is not replaced by the time or the time bound. Embodiment does not replace the freedom from embodiment. The embodiment takes place, appears, it is perceived. One perceives the embodiment, one sees the embodiment, one feels the embodiment, within the embodiment free. But he thinks really embodiment is an independent fact. That is why he continues to be embodied, and he goes on thinking. He thinks the universe is an independent fact. Body is an independent fact. Mind is an independent fact. He is not understanding that this entire thing is not a thing, but like in dream, you see, he only thinks that there are things. He doesn't understand that it is his perception. And from the truth point of view, when he wakes up, he understands it was all perception. Similarly, the waking also are things, but really there are only perceptions, but they look like things. They look like things. The real external objects, and but therefore he doesn't look at the source. They are independent facts. He says they are independent. The objects are independent facts. Because they are independent facts, well, he is attracted by them, and therefore the time-free presence of your being, the thought-free presence of your being, the universe-free being of the presence of your being. Like the rope is the snake-free, snakeness-free, snake-free presence is the rope. In that manner, the water-free presence of presence of the sand is the fact. In that manner, that is only an example, please. Here, the thought-free presence of your being is Shashvataha. It is Nityaha. It is Ajaha. Puranaha. Puranaha, maybe I left it last time. I did not explain it, Puranaha. Puranaha means Pura api Nava, even though it is ever the same. Pura api Navaha. Pura api, even though it is Anadi, you can't trace it to time. The truth cannot be traced to time, please. Time can be traced to the truth. You can trace the time to the truth. You can trace the whole universe to the truth, whereas the truth cannot be traced to the universe, because truth is not inside the universe. The truth is not inside the time, whereas the time is inside the truth. The universe is inside the truth. Like wave is in water. Water is not dependent upon the wave. It is not standing or flowing in the wave, but it is there as the source of the wave. That's That is why it's called Purana. All our Puranas, their topic is the truth. Ji. That is why Bhagavad Purana and Garuda Purana and Devi Purana, all these Puranas, and the topic is only, see, you are seeing me talk. You are hearing me talk these days. And now, what happens is, every day I am talking the same topic. Why? Because you also always search for happiness, the same happiness every day. Because the topic is yourself. I can't change the topic, please. Every day you eat food, the same roti dal, the same thing. You say, whenever I ask you, what do you want in life? I want to be happy. And then after 1 year, I come and ask you again. Say again, I want to be happy. After 1 more year, I can come and ask you. I want to be happy. That is all that I'm searching for happiness, searching for fullness, searching for peace, searching for comfort. Yes, and therefore that Purana, and it happens to be your own being. See, why does man search for happiness? Why doesn't he search for unhappiness? He craves for happiness. Why? He craves for peace. Why? He craves for comfort. Why? That's because that is his nature. That means every living being is being gravitated to his nature, please. That is why Bhagavan says, Mama Vartmayeva Anuvartante Manushyaha Partha Sarvashaha. Bhagavan says very beautifully in some chapter, he says, Mama Vartmayeva Anuvartante Manushyaha Partha Sarvashaha. Bhagavan says that everybody is only searching me, searching the fullness, searching happiness. And happiness is given the name called the Lord. Happiness is given, the Anandam is given the name, theologically given the name as Lord, and in Vedanta it is called the Satyam, the truth. The unnegatable truth is Anandam. And therefore, when you hear the Purana, don't think it is only a kahani, but it is a pictorial way of communicating the truth, please. It is a pictorial way of conveying the truth. Therefore, if somebody is doing katha, for the lay people it is all right. For the masses it is all right. Vedanta is for the very, very reflective people. And bhakti is for the less reflective people. Puranas are for the masses. What does it matter, Ji? But the topic is the same, the timeless, the time-free truth, the time-free presence of one's own being, one's own conscious being is, because you cannot get out of yourself. The universe cannot exist also without outside yourself, please. It is all within you. Like the dream is within you, the waking also is within you. And therefore here Bhagavan says, Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Even though the body dies, the body dies, the body has to die. That is its nature. And even though the body dies, the embodied being, conscious being, the Dehi, doesn't die. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. He is not killed. Hanyamane sharire, even though the body can be killed. Arjuna, don't unnecessarily worry. Even though you may kill Bhishma, the body, you may kill Drona, but their souls you can't touch. You can't, they are not available for killing. Then what happens when the body dies? I say you close your eyes, and then the entire mind sinks into itself, its own source, the truth. Like the wave, when the storm subsides, then what happens? The wave subsides into what? It sinks into water. A dying man's mind sinks into the truth. Not that he goes away, he leaves the body and then starts traveling. He becomes manifest again somewhere else. The mind becomes manifest somewhere else. That is called traveling. We call it traveling, but there is no, it is unlike moving in space and time. When you go for travel, when you go for what is it called, the Tirtha Yatra, you travel, you move from one point of space to another point of space. But here the jiva, when he dies, He doesn't really move, he doesn't walk. He just sinks here, and then his mind, his thoughts, the same truth takes another form. There is a manifestation in another form, that's all. And therefore, just as the water, the wave sinks into water and becomes again manifest somewhere else in the same water. It doesn't matter at all. And therefore, here Bhagavan says, even though the body dies, the embodied being, the Dehi, doesn't die. And also the next verse, 21st verse says, Veda vinashinam nityam yayenam ajamavyayam katham sa purushah partha kam ghatayati hantikam. Veda. If a person knows avinashinam, Veda avinashinam, Veda means the one who knows, avinashinam, the indestructible, Veda avinashinam nityam, which is indeed which is always there. Yeah, enam ajamavyayam, and the one who knows enam, this, ajam means the free from causation. The causation free is the meaning that I give for Ajashabda. Ajaha, Ajataha, etc. It is not just merely, you see, if there is something which is free from birth and death, that means it is free from causation also. If it is free from if it is not qualified by the universe, then it is free from causation. Anything that cannot, if the source is not qualified by the creation, then definitely it is ajaha. The truth is ajaha. And therefore, enam ajam avyayam, ajam avyayam, the changeless and the causation free, the one who understands. Katham sa purusha partha, hey partha, how can that person, how can the person who knows the indestructible, avinashi and nityam, and the one who understands the causation free self, himself, if he understands himself, how can he kam ghatayati hantikam? How can he make the other person? How can he get somebody killed, or how can he kill? Ghatayati means indirectly. You employ somebody to kill him, to kill somebody, or you kill him directly. But here, neither you cause, you make the other person, you bribe the other person to kill somebody, or nor can you kill directly. There is no indirect killing, nor there is direct killing. And therefore, you don't have to worry in the war that you are killing others. You are only doing your duty, please. You happen to be a Kshatriya. And therefore, every human being has to do Vyavahara. अधर्म के लिए लड़ना कोई, धर्म के लिए लड़ना कोई गड़बड़ी नहीं है. There is nothing wrong in doing one's duty. Yes, a soldier has to kill people, but he has to feel, he is only doing his duty. It's not a motivated killing. It is not his personal place. He is an employee of a nation. He is only protecting dharma. As long as the soldier doesn't support a war that is for promoting adharma, then it is all right. Dharma ke liye lad sakte hain. And the right, so the justice is on your side. You are only doing your duty, and therefore, kam ghatayati hantikam. And also understand, in actuality, neither you are killing nor you are getting killed. It is not possible to kill something. It's not. You can kill the body. Your arrows can pierce the body, the physical form. It cannot even reach the mind. The mind again sinks into the truth. The thoughts sinks. The faculties sink. They don't run away. They can never leave the source, please. Like the wave can never leave the water and fly away. The universe can never leave the source and fly away. It is always tied to its source. The pot can never fly away from the clay. In the same manner, an ornament cannot fly away from the gold. In this manner, Nothing can fly away from the truth. Everything, even the thought of the form, the perception of the form sinks into the self. Everything sinks into the self. And therefore, it's not like something goes. And therefore, how can a person kill somebody or get somebody killed? How can a person can get somebody killed, or how can a person directly kill anybody? It is not possible. The question is not the ethics. The question is the fact, the factuality. Ethical problem is different from Vedanta, please. Ethical, so in Vyavahara, ethics is all in the Vyavahara. We are talking about the fundamental thing. What are you is not an ethical problem, please. That I am the form is not an ethical problem. It is a misconception about the truth. Embodiment is a misconception about the truth. It's not an ethical problem, nor is it an unethical problem. It is a different, it is a problem of misconception. It is a problem of erroneous perception about oneself. When you see the rope as a snake, it is not an ethical problem. It is erroneous perception. Therefore, Vedanta is not is not talking about ethics. You should not do this, you should do that. That is all karma kanda. What the do's and don'ts are existent only in karma kanda, not in Vedanta. In Vedanta, only talking about what are you actually? What is this living being actually? Is this living being a form, or is he form-free consciousness? That's all the topic of Vedanta, please. And Bhagavad Gita is also Vedanta. Even though it is a Vedanta Smriti, even though it is called a Smriti Granda, but its topic is Brahma Vidya. That is why it is always said, Iti Shrimad Bhagavad Gitayam, Brahma Vidyayam, Navamodhyaya, like this they say. It is Brahma Vidya, Yoga Shastre. It is both Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. There is yoga also. There is Brahma Vidya, means analysis of the nature of the topic. That is called Brahma Vidya. Discerning between the thought and the being, the truth and the untruth, the self and the non-self, the what is, the consciousness and matter, discerning between the two, because they are mixed up as though there is an equation of the consciousness with the form. I am the form. I am standing. Every view about yourself is a thought, please. But you are a view-free presence. It is not that just as in the deep sleep state, you close your eyes and then there is no view about you. You are only a presence. And about that presence, present being, you have a view, and that is called the embodiment. That I am the form is a view. These views are manifest in the form of perceptions, and that is called the waking state. And therefore, otherwise it is free from, you are free from all your views about yourself. And therefore, you can't kill that being, please. Just as you can't cut the space into pieces, it's not possible. You can't cut the space into pieces. You can't cut what is even physical, even though it is physical, but still you can't cut. That is exactly what is said in the next verse. And that will let us see today. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. This is the verse. This is a very popular verse. This is a very well. It is often quoted, oft quoted shloka. It is quoted by everybody in every situation. That is, just as the self, just as we wear the vasas means. Let me first explain the words. Vasas, vasas, vasas means a cloth. Vasaha means a house. But the root is the vas, means it is something, it facilitates your existence. Clothes facilitate your survival. They cover you and protect you. That's why they are called vasansi. Vasas, Vasaha, Vasasau, Vasansi. Vasas, Vasasau, Vasansi. That is how it is declined. Vasansi, Jirnani. Just as the old clothes, Jirnam means, completely, it is worn and worn out. It is torn out. Vasansi Jirnani, Yatha Vihaya, the old clothes, how one renounces them. He just discards them. Vihaya, Navani Grinhati Naroparani. Man always puts on new ones. Navani means new ones. Aparani, Navani Grinhati, Naraha. Naraha means a man. Why is he called Naraha? Because he is capable of thinking. Naraha. Nridhatu means Drinati iti Naraha. Drinati. Drinati means the one who understands. A human being is one who wears the clothes, new ones, and discards the old ones. Why is he called Naraha? That is because he is Drinati, iti Naraha. Aparani, other new clothes he wears. He just as the clothes that are unfit to be worn, he discards them, and the new ones he wears. And this is a very, very common example. Tatha, similarly, in the same manner, just as we change clothes, just as we discard old ones and put on new clothes, in the same manner, tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani, man renounces old forms, unfit to live. If a person is young and meets with an accident, then the body is unfit for living, that's all. If it gets injured, then it is unfit for living. When the person has his heart fails, that means a body in which the heart has failed. It is unfit for living. Therefore, immediately what happens? The equation with the form sinks into the truth. The equation that I am the form sinks into the truth. When it sinks into the truth, when it sinks, that perception sinks into the truth, then there is no view about himself. There is no individuality view. Every view sinks into the truth. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. A man also puts on anyani, others, sanyati, he reaches, navani, the other new ones. Dehi means the truth. Dehi, the self. The same truth in the realm of avidya is called the Dehi Jiva. Otherwise, he is not Deha, he is Nirvisesham, he is Advaitam, he is Advitiyam. That is his nature place. But this is Dehi, he is called Deha because he is in a situation of avidya, in a situation of an uncorrected avidya. A situation of uncorrected avidya makes the truth look like a Dehi, embodied being. Just as when you are working in the office, you are called an officer. That is what is called an office. That is also a kind of a label. Dehi is a label. Embodiedness is a label. Indweller is a label. Every word that you use for the truth is a label. And no word can qualify the truth, please. Even the word silence doesn't qualify silence in that manner. Even the word nirvisesham, even though it conveys, the word is meant to convey. It is not meant to qualify what it conveys. See, that is why every word is a lakshanam. It's a lakshanam means it conveys, but it doesn't qualify the truth. It doesn't qualify what it conveys. That's why it's called a lakshanam. It is not a visheshanam. It is a lakshanam. Shastra, the entire Shastra is a prakriya, and the language that is used is all lakshanas. It is a lakshana vakyam. It is satyam jnanam anantam brahma. It is swarupa lakshanam. It is a swarupa lakshanam. It is not a visheshanam. The word satyam doesn't qualify the truth. The word jnanam doesn't qualify the truth. It corrects that it is jnanam. It corrects it is ajnanam, etc. Satyam jnanam anantam. It corrects the word anantam, corrects the paricheda. In this manner, ananta satyam, ananta jnanam is Brahma. That is in that manner, every word is only a lakshanam. Therefore, this verse says just as we discarded old clothes and put on the new ones. In the same manner, when a person, even if he has meets with no, even if he lives a long life, by sheer aging, the body becomes unfit to further live on. It just collapses. Just by sheer aging, it collapses. And therefore, whatever be the reason, when the body becomes unfit for living, it is discarded. And when it is discarded, the entire all faculties sink. The same faculties again become manifest in another form. They become manifest. And it is there wherever, and the truth is there, because wherever it manifests, the truth is there. The space, supposing the man dies here and goes to heaven, and heaven also is in the truth, and therefore the truth doesn't have to move away, travel. The truth doesn't have to travel. The truth, the entire universe is in the truth, and therefore only the faculties manifests in another form. That is why it is said, and therefore, Arjuna, you can't kill the soul, you can't kill the self, you can't kill awareness. You can, but Swamiji, I can kill the form. Yes, you can kill the form, that is all right. But the form can be killed, but you can't kill the soul, the self. Why? Because it is yourself. You can't kill another soul, another person. Because if you can kill him, that means he is also you. Because when the views are gone, when you transcend your embodiment, and the other person also transcends embodiment, there is no difference between you. When Rama and Ravana both go to sleep, in fact, there is no difference between Rama and Ravana. When they go to sleep, when Rama transcends his embodiment, his thinking, and his dharma thinking, and Ravana transcends his form and his thinking, what is the difference? There is no difference at all. And in that manner, you can only kill, and therefore you don't have to unnecessarily think, I'm going to kill Bhishma, I'm going to kill Drona, they are my teachers, and there is my grandsire. How can I am going to kill all the brothers, or maybe they will kill me. This, don't think about, don't worry about the death, because there is no death to the actuality. Death may frighten you, and the death needs to be understood. Death is not meant to be fear, meant to create fear. But you look at the death and don't feel fear. Death is something to be understood. Life is something to be understood, please. The entire universe is something that is to be understood. For a scientist, everything, every bit is science, it's a jnana, physics. And in that manner, for a Vedanti, every bit of the universe is something to be understood as a perception in the truth, as a perception of the truth like that. It is not like a wave should be understood. Every wave is meant to be understood as nothing but water. Every bubble is meant to be understood as water. The form is only an appearance. It is a look. It is a perception. And next verse says, Nainam chindanti shastrani. The shastra and astra, there are two words, please. Shastra means what stays in your hand, like a sword, and then you kill the other person. That is called shastram. Astram means like an arrow that goes and hits. That is called astram. Shastram and astram. Like a bullet is astram, and the barrel is shastram. It is in your own hand. It doesn't leave your hand, but the bullet leaves your hand. Therefore, the bullet is astram, whereas that gun that is there in your hand, that is called shastram. Now, nainam chindanti shastrani, na enam chindanti shastrani. The weapons can't kill it. Nainam chindanti, they can't really cut this self-awareness. You can't, because awareness is not an object of your action. Awareness is not an object that you can kill. Nayanam dahati pavakaha. All the shastras and astras are made of the earth, from the earth element. And the earth element, that it means, the implication is, the earth, any earthly thing cannot kill the truth. Nayanam dahati pavakaha. Pavakaha means the fire. The fire cannot burn it. The weapons cannot cut it. Nachayanam kledayanti apaha. The waters cannot drown it. Na soshayati marutaha. The wind cannot blow it off. The wind cannot blow it off. The oceans cannot drown it. It's not an object of creation. It is not something that is available to be. There is no connection between. There is no tangible connection between the truth and the universe, please. Even though it looks as though there is a connection, but there is no real connection, please. If you perceive the rope as snake, and between what is that snake that you see and the rope, what is the connection, please? There is no touchable, tangible connection. From the rope point of view, there is no snake. In the light of the rope, there is no snake. Therefore, there is no connection. Even though we say it is Ananya, but there is no contact between the two. Yes, a touchable, like, this hand, sanyoga kind of connection. Between one hand and another hand, you do this like this. This is what is called touch. This is what is a tangible touch. Tangibility itself means touchability. There is no tangible connection between the error and the truth. There is no tangible connection. Very, very importantly. From the source point of view, there is no creation. From the Bhagavan point of view, there is no creation. From the sleep point of view, there is no universe. When you go into sleep, you don't even think. There is no reference to the creation, that you had creation, that you had a waking state. This kind of reference is not there. Even in the dream, there is no reference to the waking state. That is all right. But from the deep sleep state, in the deep sleep state, there is no reference either to the waking state or to the dream state. And therefore here, the weapons cannot cut it, the fire cannot burn it, the water cannot drown it, the air cannot blow it off. Meaning what? The element, it is not elements, the engines of destruction. The elements are considered to be the engines of destruction. They are all the elements of can destroy. But these elements cannot reach their source. Their source. The wave cannot kill water, because the wave is dependent upon water. The wave cannot swallow water. In fact, the best way of talking is, the wave cannot replace water. The wave has no, between the wave is a perception in my dimag. But even if the water thinks that I am a wave, it is only a perception. There is no wave and water, there is no tangible connection. There is no sanyoga. It's not another fact. If there are two facts, like two objects can have a sanyoga. Sanyoga means a kind of a connection. But between perception and the fact, there is no connection. I see a fact differently. That is erroneous perception. There is no contact. Between the universe and Bhagavan also, even though the universe exists only presupposing the presence of Bhagavan, but yet between Bhagavan and the universe, there is no tangible connection, because one is, the other is only perceived to be. It is only seen. The universe is only a perception. It is not something that can become another fact and become combined with the truth. Achedyoyam, the next verse, third verse. We are going to do the next verse also. Achedya, it is something cannot be cut. Achedya. Why the weapons cannot cut? That is said here. The only reason is it cannot be cut. Why the weapons cannot cut? Because it's not cuttable. Achedya. Achedyoyam, adahyoyam. The fire cannot burn it because it's not available for to be burnt. Adahya. It's not something by nature. It transcends the space. It transcends the earth. It transcends the physical. It transcends the earth. It transcends the fire. And therefore, akledya. Why the water cannot wet it? Because it is akledya. It is something not available to be drowned, etc. It is not available to be made wet. Akledyoyam. Asoshayevacha. And it is something it cannot be. Why the air cannot blow it out? Blow it off? Because it cannot be blown away. See, this is the why the truth cannot change. Why time cannot affect the truth? Because the truth cannot change it. That is the only answer. Why the change cannot reach the truth? It transcends the change. It's free from the change. Why it transcends the change? Because the fact is not affected by the erroneous perception about it. Whether even if the truth sees itself wrongly, that is an erroneous perception. It's like this, the 10th man's view about himself. That the view is that the 10th man is somewhere away. But himself is the 10th man. But that view that the 10th man is away does not change the fact that he is the 10th man. It doesn't bring about the wrong perception does not bring about any change in the fact place. Perception, whether it is an outsider's perception or one's own perception. Perception is a perception. Even the truth perceives, so what? The truth perceives that I am the jiva. Let us say. The truth perceives itself as the jiva. And therefore it thinks it is. But its own perception does not affect its nature. Whether it is jiva's perception or Paramatma's perception doesn't matter, Ji. It is indeed perception. That is what is to be understood. It's not really going to make much difference. It's not to pick up the argument, who perceives that I am there? Does jiva perceive or Paramatma perceive? Nobody perceives actually. If you look into yourself properly, then you understand there is nobody sees. Neither truth perceives nor the jiva perceives. Even if you take the truth perceives, that perception doesn't affect the nature of the truth. If the jiva perceives also, his own perception does not affect his actuality. If it is jiva, then we talk about actuality. If it is Paramatma, his actuality, his nature is not affected by its own perception. Anyway, when the truth has a view that I am the jiva, then it becomes a jiva anyway. As a jiva, the perception that I am jiva does not change the fact that it is free from being a jiva. Yes. Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyosa nitya. It is nitya. It is free from time. When it is free from time, how can the really change takes place? The one who sees the change, the one who illumines the change, the one who is aware of the change is not changing place. And even the seer-seen relationship is seen. Seer-seen relation, even though we call it a relationship, it doesn't change the nature of the seer. The seer is something, it is advitiyam. The non-dual self is not affected by the seer-seen relationship or the seen, the object. The object doesn't qualify the consciousness. Even the relationship doesn't qualify the consciousness. Sarvagataha, and he is present all over. Don't say he has gone all over. He is sarvagata. Even though the word gataha is given, it is not that he has gone everywhere. He is present everywhere. In fact, the word everywhere refers to spatial points. Everywhere means you can't really, the word everywhere has to be understood as spatial expansion. The universe is called, it's a point in the different, every point in the universe is called everywhere. And that everywhere is within the limits of the truth, please. And therefore, it is said, truth is everywhere. It is very difficult to say this. Truth is everywhere is not right. Because human beings think Satyam is something that is in space somewhere. It is everywhere inside space. No. Every point of space is in the truth, please. Truth, you can't trace the truth to a point in the space. You can't say truth, God is in heaven only, or he is on the earth only, or he is in the Brahmins alone, or it is in the only temple. These are all places where you can worship Ji. But the presence of the truth is not inside space. The truth is, in fact, is something in which the space abides. Nityaha sarvagataha sthanuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. Sthanuhu, sthanuhu means it is achala. It's not mobile. The truth being is not mobile. It is sthiraha. Sthanuhu means sthira. Why it is sthiraha? It's like an anvil, blacksmith's anvil. It is like, what is that word? That word is called, that it is something that is fixed. Kutastaha. It's like kutastaha. Kutavat tishtati. It is thanuhu. It is ever present. Ever present means not mobile. Why it is not mobile? It is akarta. Because it is unlimited, please. It is infinite. You must understand, to be infinite is not, in the infinite there is no view, it is thought-free presence is called the infinite. Time-free presence is called infinite. Therefore, even in the space you think of where it ends, the more you think of the extent of the space, you become silent really. And that is really the unlimitedness. The silence is unlimitedness. Unlimitedness is not something, a length of distance. It is not a dimension that is called unlimited. It is something that is a silent presence of your being. Sthanuhu, achaloyam sanatanaha. It is achalaha. It is by dint of being non-dual, by dint of being unlimited, it is not mobile. And sanatanaha, sadanutanaha. Sanatanaha means it said, it is ever the same, sanatana. Our dharma is also, it is considered to be sanatana dharma. In fact, human dharma is sanatana dharma, because it is always looking for happiness. And therefore, even though you call yourself a Christian, a Muslim, etc., Hindu, etc., that's different. But actually, every human being is a Sanatani. Sanatana means he is always looking for happiness. That is called Sanatana. And himself is that happiness. Himself is that peaceful being. And that peaceful being, everybody is the same peaceful being. Everyone is the same truth. And therefore, that truth is called Sanatana. And because man is looking for that happiness, he is called also, his life also is called Sanatana. And the entire Vedanta is also called Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma. Dharma here means lifestyle also. The way you live for understanding yourself. That makes it Sanatana Dharma. And therefore, the more of it we will see later. Thank you very much. Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.